Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I'm Coresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I'm going to teach you the importance of being earnest, a three-act comedic play written by Oscar Wilde. I therefore request all of you to watch this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to share, subscribe, support, and encourage me and my videos. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. The Importance of Being Earnest, written by Oscar Wilde. Okay, and this is going to be the last textual topic. And so far I have covered almost all the textual topics that have been prescribed for you for study in the DSC syllabus. Okay, the title of this topic is The Importance of Being Earnest. The importance means significance. Okay, you know very well. The importance of being earnest. Being earnest means being serious. Okay, being grave, being important, being solemn. Okay, being serious. So the importance of being serious, that is the meaning. So that means you are not supposed to be always joking. You are not supposed to be always playful and all that. Eppudu playful ga, joking ga undakunda, you have to be sometimes very serious. So that is the very point, that is dealt with in this drama or in this play. And this has been written by Oscar Wilde. And before I teach you this three-act drama, I would like to tell you a few important things about this writer Oscar Wilde, and also about the drama. Okay, and let us see that here. Introduction to Oscar Wilde. Very easy, very simple. Okay, what are the introductory points about this writer? Means Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde. Oh, this is the long name of this writer, but shortly and sweetly we call him Oscar Wilde. That's all. And he was born on October 16, 1854 in Dublin in Ireland. So this Ireland is located just to the north of England, you know very well. So it's a small island, small country, you know very well. And he was born in Dublin. Dublin is the capital city of this Ireland, I think. So he was born in Dublin, an important city that is located in Ireland. Okay, these details are enough for about his birth. Okay, and you go to the next point. He was a celebrated Irish poet and playwright, and he was a very popular Irish poet because he wrote in his lifetime so many poems. So he was a celebrated, very popular Irish poet and playwright. Playwright means one who writes plays or dramas. So he was a famous playwright also. Okay, this point is also clear. And you go to the next one. He was considered as one of the most preeminent literary figures of the late Victoria era. So he was considered, he was regarded as one of the most preeminent literary. Preeminent means most outstanding or supreme literary figures of the late Victoria period or era. So Victoria era is named after the period during which Queen Victoria ruled that England. England Queen Victoria పరిపాలించిన కాలమును Victoria period అంటారు, Victoria era or something like that. And he was born at the end of that Victorian era. Okay, right. And here another point is there about him. He was renowned for his wit. Okay, he was renowned, again famous for his wit. Wit means clever humor. So in almost all his stories, almost all his plays, you can find humor only. Humor means some kind of wit. Wit means humor. Humor means hasyamu, something like that in Telugu. So he was renowned for his wit, flamboyant personality. And flamboyant means what? Eye-catching. Eye-catching or attractive. ఆకర్షణీయమైన, చూడగానే ఆకట్టుకునేటటువంటి, దట్ ఇస్ ద తెలుగు మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఫ్లాంబోయాంట్ పర్సనాలిటీ. Okay, he has got that personality and keen observation on society, and he is said to be observing all the things that are going on in the society of those days. That is the greatness of this Oscar Wilde. So these are the very important points about this Oscar Wilde. Now let's move on to learn a few more things about this writer. Wilde excelled academically, attending Trinity College, Dublin, and later Magdalene College, Oxford. So he studied in these two colleges, Trinity College, Dublin, and later Magdalene College, Oxford. And he excelled academically. That means, he excelled in studies. He is good at studies, and he studied in the Trinity College, Dublin, and later Magdalene College, Oxford. That is all about his education. And here you pay attention at Oxford. That means when he was studying in the Oxford University, that is Magdalene College, he developed a deep appreciation. Developed what? A deep appreciation. Appreciation's liking or interest for aestheticism. Aestheticism means what? It is a kind of, it is a doctrine which says that all principles of beauty are basic to moral principles. All principles of beauty are basic to moral principles. మరి అందమునకు సంబంధించిన ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అన్ని నైతిక విలువలకు సంబంధించిన ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అవి మరి ప్రాతిపదికగా ఉంటాయి అనేటటువంటి సిద్ధాంతమే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఈస్థెటిసిజం. ఈస్థెటిసిజం, ఈస్థెటిసిజం. ఓకే, aestheticism. So that is how you can cut the word into syllables. Aestheticism. If you can pronounce that word for 3-4 times, that will become your own word. Okay. And here also some details are given about this aestheticism. A movement that emphasized art for art's sake. And you know very well, this aestheticism emphasized what? Art for art's sake. So about art for art's sake, you are all literature students. You know pretty well about this art for art's sake, and this is a slogan. Let me tell you about this one. Okay, this is a beautiful slogan coined in the 19th century by Victor Cousin. Okay, Victor Cousin. Oh, long back I learnt about this art for art's sake doctrine and all that. So this is a slogan coined in the 19th century by Victor Cousin. According to this, art needs no justification. Art does not justify itself. The poets, the writers need not justify what they have written. వారు రాసిన దాన్ని వాళ్ళు సమర్థించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. That means, the slogan says that art does not need any justification, and this art also need not serve any political or didactic or any other purpose. That is the meaning of the slogan, and that's why called art for art's sake. కళ కోసమే, ఎవరి కోసం కాదు, రాజకీయాల కోసము, ఏదో దాని నుంచి ఇతరులకు ప్రబోధించడం కోసం కాదు. ఆర్ట్ ఈజ్ మెంట్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ ఆర్ట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ slogan. Okay, and the slogan was coined in the 19th century by this French philosopher Victor Cousin. You know that very well, right? And now let's move on to the next important point. And Wilde gained a great deal of name and fame. Okay, he achieved a great deal of name and fame in the 1880s for his sharp essays. Sharp means very, pungent essays, very wonderful essays, okay, poignant essays, lectures, okay. He wrote so many lectures, he wrote so many essays on art, aesthetics. So he wrote so many essays, lectures on art and aesthetics and poetry. So in this way, in his lifetime, this Oscar Wilde wrote so many sharp essays, wonderful essays, lectures on art and aesthetics, one point, and he also wrote so many poems in his lifetime. So because of these two things, he achieved a great name and fame from all over the world. ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా గొప్ప పేరు ప్రఖ్యాతులను అతగాడు గడించాడు. So that is the meaning of this point. And now you move on to the next important point. His most famous works include. What are his most famous works? Let us see that. Place. First of all, I am talking to you about his most important place, the importance of being earnest. I have already told you about this. The importance means the significance of being serious. Serious ga unduta yokka dani yokka pramukyata. Don't be always playful. Don't be always joking. ఎప్పుడు అల్లరి చిల్లరగా ఆకతాయిగా ఉండకు. సీరియస్ గా ఉండాలి. సీరియస్ గా ఉండుట యొక్క ప్రాముఖ్యత. So that is the meaning of that title. Okay, the importance of being earnest. This was written in 1895, and okay, and an ideal husband. This is written in 1895, and lady Windermere's fan. And this was written in 1892. And these plays showcase, okay, all these dramas, all these plays showcase means exhibit in a pleasant way his mastery of wit. And all these dramas tell us clearly that he has made use of wit very wonderfully in those plays. Wit means clever humor, తెలివైన హాస్యము, that is called wit. And social commentary, and he also attacked the social evils of those times, and on those social evils he created some humor and all that, okay, some kind of mockery, right? And now this is all about his plays, and now you move on to learn about his other writings. Okay, fiction. He also wrote some fictional stories. Okay, fiction means again fictitious literary works are called fiction. Okay, కల్పితమైనటువంటి కథలు రచనలను ఫిక్షన్ అంటారు. You know that very well. White's only novel, okay, The Picture of Dorian Gray. So this is only the novel he has written in 1890. Okay, and what does this novel deal with? Okay, it explores themes of vanity. In this novel he mentions the theme of vanity. The vanity means empty pride in oneself. Okay, empty pride, okay, inflated pride in oneself, in one's appearance, in one's achievements. చాలా మంది తమ యొక్క అందం చూసుకొని గర్విస్తూ ఉంటారు, తాము సాధించిన వాటిని చూసి గర్విస్తుంటారు, తమలో ఉన్న శక్తియుక్తులను బట్టి గర్విస్తుంటారు. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఎంప్టీ ప్రైడ్. దట్ ఎంప్టీ ప్రైడ్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ ఇన్ తెలుగు దురహంకారము, పొగరు, గర్వము. What happened a few days ago when Donald Trump, after signing on the document of deportation of immigrants, what did he do? He just threw that big pen at the audience very carelessly. Yes, he behaved how? As if he were only the monarch of this entire world. ఈ ప్రపంచానికే తాను గొప్ప అధినేతను అన్నట్టు ఒక పొగరు, ఒక హంభావం తొణికిసలాడింది ఆయనలో. But one very important biblical quotation is there. Pride goes before a fall. నాశనమునకు ముందు గర్వం నడుస్తుంది మనిషిలో. సో గర్వం దేనికోసం? గర్వం ఈ అందం కోసం. ఎన్నాళ్ళు ఉంటుంది ఈ అందము? ఓకే, ఈ తెలివితేటలు ఎన్నాళ్ళు ఉంటవి? సో దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ద వే. యు మస్ట్ బి హంబుల్. You must be very meek in your behavior and all that. నమ్రత కలిగి ఉండాలి, వినయ విధేయతలు కలిగి ఉండాలి. జీవితంలో అప్పుడే we can prosper. Okay, all right, that's a different matter. So to tell you about that, I'm talking about this. Vanity means what? అహంభావము, దురహంకారము, something like that. So in this novel he deals with the themes of that vanity. Moral corruption is there. Moral corruption means what? Deviating from moral values and principles and engaging oneself in dishonest, unjust, immoral activities. Okay, just for the sake of name and fame and power and money and so many things. ఇట్లాంటి డబ్బు కోసము, పేరు ప్రఖ్యాతుల కోసము, మరి నీతి మాలిన పని చేయడాన్ని, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ moral corruption. For example, bribery is there, లంచగొండితనము is there, bribery is there. You are just deviating from your moral principles. నీ నైతిక విలువలను దాటి చేయడం లేదా పని నీవు? Actually you are not supposed to take bribes, but you are taking bribes means what? It's moral corruption. So moral corruption is very bad. And you can say deceiving the gullible people. అమాయకమైన ప్రజలను మాయ మాటలు చెప్పి మోసగించడం, it is moral corruption. So there are so many moral corruptions you can find in this world. So about this moral corruption, he talks in this novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and the consequences of hedonism. So hedonism means what? So it's a doctrine which says, what is that? Pleasure is the sole objective of life. సుఖమే, ఆనందమే ఈ జీవితానికి పరమావధి అని చెప్పేటటువంటి ఒక సిద్ధాంతం. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ హెడోనిజం. సో ద కాన్సిక్వెన్సెస్ ఆఫ్ హెడోనిజం. సో ఇన్ దిస్ వే the themes of vanity, moral corruption, and the consequence of hedonism, all these things he has dealt with in this beautiful novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Okay, it's all right. Now you move on to the next important point. It is considered a Gothic masterpiece. Okay, and this novel is also considered a Gothic masterpiece. That means masterpiece means a literary work. You know very well, a literary work, and literary work which deals with some frightening and mysterious subject. ఒక భయము గొలిపేటటువంటి సబ్జెక్టును కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి ఆ రచనా వ్యాసంగాన్ని దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ గోతిక్ వర్క్ అంటారు. So here masterpiece antunar. Of course, it's an excellent work. Okay, you know very well. And here you pay attention, essays and criticism. He also wrote essays and criticism. Okay, let us see that here. Wilde's essays, okay, such as The Soul of Man Under Socialism, that was written in 1891, reveal his views on individualism, art and society. Okay. Right, and here he wrote some essays, for example, such as means, for example, The Soul of Man Under Socialism. That is one of his best essays, and he in this essay he reveals his views on individualism. So here individualism means, you know, it is a conception that all values, rights and duties will originate in the individuals themselves. అంటే డ్యూటీస్, రైట్స్, విలువలన్నీ కూడా వ్యక్తుల నుంచి ఆవిర్భవిస్తాయి అని చెప్పేటటువంటి కాన్సెప్షన్, ఆలోచనని, దట్ థింగ్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ individualism. Art, you know very well, society, you know well. So he revealed his views on individualism, on art and society, you know very well. So that is all about his essays. And now you go to the next one. He also wrote some stories for children. Wilde wrote enchanting short stories. Enchanting words, okay, so mesmerizing short stories, very beautiful short stories for children, such as The Happy Prince. Okay, this story I learnt when I was in intermediate, and I also taught the same story to my intermediate students, right, and other tales also. Very interesting stories he wrote in his lifetime. They are all meant for children, and your children can also buy those stories and read them. Very, very interesting. And all these stories were written in 1888, blending moral lessons with poignant short story. So in all these short stories you can find his beautiful way of storytelling and also some morals. Okay, so all his stories are filled with morals. This is all about his writings. Okay, now let's move on to learn a few more things about this great writer. His life took a tragic turn. It should be there. His life took a tragic turn when he was convicted in 1895 of his indecent behavior with his friend Lord Alfred Douglas, and was sentenced to 2 years of hard labor. Okay, here this tells us about his tragic incident that has occurred in his lifetime. Okay, and here what happened, you know, he was convicted in 1895 because of his indecent behavior with his friend Lord Alfred Douglas. So actually this Oscar Wilde was a close friend of this Lord Alfred Douglas, but there were some rumors that this Oscar Wilde and this Lord Alfred Douglas, both of them had some homosexual relationship and all that, and that was not liked by Alfred's father. And that's why, you know, his father sued him in the court of law, and the court found him guilty, and therefore it punished him to undergo imprisonment for 2 years in jail and all that. That was a tragic incident that has taken place in Oscar Wilde's life. And here, during his imprisonment, Wilde wrote De Profundis. So some French title that is. So he wrote that De Profundis, okay, 1897, a moving letter. Okay, he wrote this moving letter reflecting on his suffering, love and spiritual growth. So when he was undergoing imprisonment, okay, when he was in jail, what happened? He wrote a moving letter, a very heart melting letter, talking about his suffering in the jail and about his life and about his spiritual growth. So talking about all these things, he wrote a very moving letter. So that is there. And you go to the next important point. After his release, he lived in exile in France. Okay, after his release, he did not move in the society because of the great insult that was there on his life, because he was made to undergo imprisonment. So he felt it a great insult to him, and that's why he did not like to move in the society. He did not like to move in the public, and therefore he lived in exile, in private life in France under the name Sebastian Melmoth. So under this name, he lived in France in exile, you know. right? And here Oscar Wilde died on November 30th, 1900 in Paris. Okay, impoverished. Impoverished means he became poverty stricken at the end of his life. Actually, at the beginning of his life, he was very rich, very wealthy, and all that. But at the end of his life, he has become impoverished. He has become very poor, right, and largely forgotten at the time. And by the time he died, he was almost forgotten by the people of that Ireland, by the people of England, by the readers who read some of his dramas, stories, and all such things. So that is really a very pathetic thing about this Oscar Wilde. So this is all about Oscar Wilde's life. A few more things about his biography are left here. So let us look at all of them. However, his works experienced a resurgence. Resurgence means a revival in the 20th century. In the year 1900, he died, very well. But in the 20th century, that means after a few years, what happened? All his writings were again revived. Okay, they were brought to the notice of the readers and all that. And today, he is celebrated as a pioneer of modern wit. And today, he is considered as a pioneer of modern wit. Modern wit means clever humor, a defender of artistic freedom. So today people remember this Oscar Wilde by these two things, because he was the pioneer of modern wit and he was also the defender of artistic freedom. An artist should have freedom. He should be able to write whatever he wants to, whatever the ideas that come from his mind. So artistic freedom, literary freedom is very important for a writer. If there are restrictions on his writings, and he cannot write anything. రచనల మీద నువ్వు రిస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ కనుక పెడితే వాడు ఏం రాయగలుగుతాడు? సో దట్స్ వై ఆర్టిస్టిక్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. రచయితలకు స్వేచ్ఛ ఉండాలి, తాము అనుకుంది రాయగలగాలి. సో for these two things, he was a champion. Okay, and that's why he is being celebrated as a pioneer of these two things, right? And you go to the next point, his epigrams. Epigrams means terse and witty sayings are called epigrams. Chamatkaramayinatuvanti sametalanu that they are called epigrams. And sayings means again proverbs. Remain iconic. Iconic means widely known, widely popular, and all that. Reflecting his sharp intellect and enduring influence. And all these epigrams and sayings reflect his sharp intellect, high intelligence, and also enduring influence on the people. Okay, and all these epigrams and sayings have thrown a very wonderful, a powerful influence on his readers. Okay, and he left an indelible mark on literature and culture. On the whole, this Oscar Wilde has left an indelible mark. Indelible mark means that cannot be erased. Mark that cannot be erased. Charagani mudra, that is in Telugu called. Okay, an indelible mark on literature and culture. So he had left an indelible mark on literature, on indelible mark, and what is that, on culture. ఈ సాహిత్య సంస్కృతుల మీద ఆయన ఒక చెరగని ముద్ర వేసినటువంటి మహనీయుడు ఆస్కార్ వైల్డ్. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ దిస్ గ్రేట్ రైటర్. అండ్ నౌ లెట్స్ మూవ్ ఆన్ టు లెర్న్ ఎ ఫ్యూ మోర్ థింగ్స్ అబౌట్ దిస్ 3-act drama. Okay. Introduction to the importance of being earnest. Okay, right. Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, first performed on February 14, 1895. See, this drama was performed on the stage on February 14, 1895. That is the first point. Okay, and it is one of the most celebrated comedies in English literature. So this The Importance of Being Earnest, this drama is considered one of the most celebrated comedies in English literature. Okay, so many comedies are there in the English literature, and this is considered as one of them, right? And here subtitled, and the subtitle of this is a trivial comedy for serious people. So for the serious people, it's a trivial comedy. It's not a comedy at all. For the serious people, it is not a comedy at all. For the serious people, don't derive pleasure from that drama because they are very serious. That's why the subtitle of this drama is a trivial comedy for serious people. The play is what? A sparkling satire. Satire means, I have already told you that it is mockery. Jeering at what? On Victorian society. It's a kind of mockery on Victorian society. During the regime of Queen Victoria, in the society there were so many evils. So on those evils, this drama is a kind of satire, is a kind of mockery, is a kind of sarcasm, oka vengyamu, vetakaramu, something like that, exposing its hypocrisy. And in those days, in the Victorian society, people used to have hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means saying something and doing some other thing. చెప్పేది ఒకటి చేసేది ఒకటి అయితే దట్స్ కాల్డ్ హిపోక్రసీ. యూ లుక్ టు బి సంథింగ్ అండ్ యూ డూ సమ్ అదర్ థింగ్స్. దట్స్ రియలీ బ్యాడ్. నువ్వు మంచోనిగా కనిపిస్తున్నావు, చేసేయని తప్పుడు పనులు. దట్స్ కాల్డ్ హిపోక్రసీ, రైట్? అండ్ హియర్ రిజిడిటీ. In those days, the people had got some rigidity, obsession with appearances. Okay, and they were always preoccupied. Obsession means preoccupied with appearances. Okay, they used to disguise themselves as some other person and all that, because disguising means not simply changing the dress, wig and all such things, but even changing the names also. You are John, but you change your name and you want to be called by Ernest, something like that. Oka పేరుంటి ఇంకో పేరు పెట్టుకోవడము, ఒక ఆకారంలో ఉన్నవాడు ఇంకో. So this called, they were obsessed with appearances. So they were all very much interested in changing their appearances, in changing their names and all such things. So about all these things, this drama deals with. Okay, and here it remains a timeless masterpiece. Timeless means everlasting or long-lasting masterpiece. This literary work, this drama remains as an everlasting drama or a long-lasting drama, delighting audiences, and audiences will feel very happy after watching this drama with its sharp wit, clever dialogue and absurd situations. So in this drama you can find sharp wit, clever humor is there, and clever dialogues are also there, and also things very well. Absurd situations, some awkward situations are called absurd situations. The audience would get some kind of delight from this drama, some kind of entertainment from this drama. It's like that. And you go to other important points. The importance of being earnest was an immediate success, cementing White's reputation as a playwright. So here this drama, the importance of being earnest, this has created an immediate success for this Wilde. So this has brought this Oscar Wilde a wonderful reputation. Okay, he was established as he was recognized as a wonderful playwright or a very good playwright after the presentation of this drama on the stage. Okay, after the presentation of this drama on the stage, and this achieved what is that thumping success and wonderful success, and his reputation has spread all over the place, and he has been recognized as a very good playwright, right? And here, however, his triumph was overshadowed by Wilde's legal troubles and subsequent imprisonment. But his triumph, his victory was overshadowed. It was covered, it was submerged. How? By Wilde's legal troubles. Because of his legal troubles, because of his imprisonment, the triumph of this drama has become submerged. Okay, has become eclipsed, something like that. Okay, it was overshadowed, right? And here, despite this, the play has endured as one of the greatest comedies in English literature. So in spite of all these personal problems, okay, this play of Oscar Wilde has been regarded as one of the greatest comedies in English literature. That's very important, because personal life of a poet is different, personal life of a writer is different from his literary life. Okay, so we have to look at only the literary life of a person, not at the personal life. Okay, personal life, leave the personal life. Personally he may have so many problems, okay, but we have to look at only his literary life and all that, what kind of writings he is writing, and what kind of messages he is giving to the society, and all such things only we have to observe in his writings. And that's why in spite of all these legal problems and his inspiration, what is that this play, The Importance of Being Earnest, has been regarded as one of the greatest comedies in English literature, and continuously performed and this drama has been performed all over the world on various stages and all that, and it was also studied for universal appeal and incisivity. Because of this incisivity, clever wit, and because of its universal appeal, so it has got some kind of entertainment, it has got some kind of beauty in that. So for these two things, it has been studied very well all over the world by the students like you. Okay, and these are the very important points about this drama. Now we are going to learn about the summary of this drama. Summary of the importance of being earnest. Already I have given you the meaning of this title. You know the meaning. Again, I am telling you, the importance means the significance, okay, of being earnest means of being serious, of being grave or solemn. That means you should not be joking always, you should not be playful always. That is the meaning of that. Okay, and let us see the meaning of the first act. Okay, the play begins in the London flat of Algernon Moncrief. So this is the character of this story. His name is Algernon Moncrief. Okay, if you can say it for 2-3 times, that becomes your own, and your tongue will be twisted, and you can easily pronounce that name. Okay, Algernon Moncrief, right? And the story takes place in the flat of Algernon Moncrief, right? One day what happened? Jack Worthing visits him. So the story is written in a simple, easy and understanding way for you, because even if you can read this story, you should be able to understand very easily. So for that purpose, I have written everything very clearly in a simple way. So Jack Worthing, this is the hero of the drama, and this Jack Worthing visits him. Okay, he tells Algernon, this Jack Worthing tells Algernon that he loves Gwendoline Fairfax. So this Gwendoline Fairfax is there. You pronounce this name for 2-3 times, it becomes your own. Okay, and who is this Gwendoline Fairfax? It is Algernon's cousin, and plans to propose to her, and he says he wants to marry her. That's why he has come there to propose to her. Okay, that is the meaning of this little paragraph of Act 1. And you go to the second paragraph. Upon Algernon's refusal to consent because of his suspicion about him. Okay, but this Algernon, the uncle of this Gwendoline, refuses to give his consent to this Jack Worthing because of his suspicion about him. This Algernon grows suspicious about him, and therefore Algernon refuses to agree to his proposal. Okay, he does not allow this Jack Worthing to propose to his cousin, that is Gwendoline Fairfax. So then Jack is forced to admit to his living a double life. Then this Jack is forced to tell him all about his double life. What is this double life? Let us see that here. He reveals that in the countryside means Gramina Prantamlo, in the countryside, Grama Prantamlo, Palle Prantamlo, something like that. He is known as Jack. Okay, this is Jack Worthing. So in the countryside, his name is Jack, and serves as a responsible guardian to his ward Cecily Cardew, and he is working as a guardian to his cousin, that is Cecily Cardew. Cecily Cardew is there. She is an 18-year-old young girl, and for that Cecily Cardew, he is working as a responsible guardian with this name Jack, that is there. And in London, and when he goes to London, he assumes the name Ernest. So he takes the name Ernest. So that means in the countryside his name is Jack, and in London his name is Ernest. And why does he have this name when he goes to London? Means to escape societal expectations. Okay, societal expectations means and he he wants to avoid certain social obligations, societal obligations and all that, and indulge in leisure, because all the while he is living with his cousin, that is Cecily Cardew. So occasionally he'll be going to London, saying that his brother is there in London. His name is Ernest. He wants to see him. He tells about that brother in London, and on that pretext he would go to London in the name of that Ernest. That means in the countryside he would be called Jack Worthing, and in London he would be called Ernest Worthing. So that is there. Okay, so here in this way, this Jack tells Algernon that he is living a double life. Okay, so same person living a double life with double names and all that, right? And now you move on to the next paragraph. Emboldened by this, Algernon also admits to having his own double identity. And now, when Jack Worthing tells all about his double life, okay, that he has two names. First name is Jack, and he uses this name Jack when he is in the countryside, and he uses the name Ernest when he is in London. So when Jack Worthing tells Algernon about his double name and double life, this Algernon also gets emboldened by this. He also gets some kind of boldness, and now he also admits to having his own double identity. He also tells him that he too has double life and double names. Okay. He says that he has an alter ego by name Bunbury. So he says that he has a second self or a trusted friend called Bunbury. That means, he has another name that is Bunbury. Okay. His original name is Algernon, but his another name is Bunbury, a fictitious invalid whom he uses as an excuse to escape unwanted social obligations. That means, he created this Bunbury, a close friend or trusted friend, saying that this Bunbury is a close friend of him, and on the name of this Bunbury, he would go to London and he would go to other places whenever he wanted to escape unwanted social obligations. Unwanted social obligations, whenever he was forced to do some other things, okay, and if he is not interested in doing those things, he would say, I'm going to Bunbury, my close friend, he's in deep troubles, so I'm going to help him, like that, saying that he would go to Bunbury. So here also, in the case of the Jack Worthing is the real name of that person. But whenever he doesn't like to attend to some social obligations, he would simply say, my brother is there in London, his name is Ernest Worthing, I must go and help him because he is in troubles, something like that. So in this way, this Jack Worthing is living a double life with two names, and this Algernon is also living a double life, just like Jack Worthing, having two names. What is that? Algernon is the original name and Bunbury is the other name of this. So in this way, these two persons, now clear, are you clear? This is Jack Worthing, okay, this is there, and this is Algernon, okay. So here he moves with two names. One is Jack Worthing and another one is Ernest. So these are the two names of the same person, that is Jack. And Algernon has also two names. Algernon one name and Bunbury another name. So in this way, these two persons are living a double life, having two names or double names, only in order to avoid certain social obligations, certain problems, certain unwanted issues and all that. So only in order to avoid all such things, and only to enjoy themselves in other places, they are assuming these double names. So Ernest is the double name of this Jack Worthing and Bunbury is the double name of this Algernon. So from this, I think it is clear for you. Now you move on to the next paragraph of the story. When Jack proposes to Gwendolyn, so afterwards, this Jack is permitted to propose to Gwendolyn. So this Jack proposes to Gwendolyn. Okay, she at once accepts his proposal. So at once accepts the proposal, revealing her romantic obsession with the name Ernest. But she puts a condition. What is that? But her would-be or her husband must have the name Ernest. Okay, because he likes that name very much. And that is a kind of obsession, because some names are very interesting to the ears and all that. So that is the weakness of this Gwendolyn, right? And however, Lady Bracknell, Gwendolyn's domineering mother, this Lady Bracknell is there. This is Gwendolyn's domineering mother, that means dominating mother, disapproves of the match, and she doesn't like her daughter to marry this Jack Worthing. After learning Jack is an orphan and found in a handbag at Victoria Station in London. So that's the point. And this Lady Bracknell, the mother of Gwendolyn, learns that this Jack Worthing is an orphan and he was found in a handbag at Victoria railway station in London. So when he learns that she does not like to give her daughter to an orphan like this Jack, that's why she disapproves of the match. She doesn't like Jack to marry Gwendolyn, right? And so she forbids further contact with her daughter. So immediately she says not to contact, not to talk to her daughter, not to propose to her daughter, not to try to contact with her. But Gwendolyn manages to covertly promise to him her undying love. But Gwendoline tells this Jock that she loves him deeply, and therefore she would somehow manage to talk to him. So with that promise, covertly means secretly she gives a promise to this Jock. So that means this Gwendoline loves Jock very much, and she secretly tells him that she would definitely in touch with him, and she would be in contact with him, and she would talk to him very secret and all that. So though her mother has forbidden her from talking to this Jock and all that. Okay, right. This is all about the story, and now you move on to the next part of the story. Act 2. The second act takes place at Jock's country estate. Okay, this takes place there. Algernon arrives under the guise of Jock's false brother. So here Algernon goes to this Jock's estate one day under the guise of Jock's false brother, that is Ernest. You know very well, this Jock uses this name Ernest, saying that he is his own brother who lives in London and all that. So under this name he was moving, he was enjoying himself in London and all that. So taking the name of this Jock's false brother, that is Ernest, this Algernon visits the country estate of this Jock. Okay, Ernest Worthing. Okay, that is Ernest Worthing. Under this name he visits that country estate, feels curious about Cicely, and he looks at Cicely Cardew is there. Okay, she's a beautiful girl, she is an 18-year-old girl, and this Algernon feels curious about Cicely and falls in love with her, and at once he falls in love with her. Pretty teenage girl Cicely. Okay, then under Jock Worthing's guardianship, he is studying with her governess Miss Prism in the village of Woolton, Hertfordshire. This is the information about this Cicely. Okay, but pretty teenage girl Cicely Cardew. This Cicely Cardew is a pretty girl. She's a teenage girl. She is under Jock Worthing's guardianship. All these points are given in one point only. Okay, he's studying with her governess. She is taking some tuition from this Miss Prism. This is also a 27-year-old, you can say, woman, and she is taking some kind of coaching or some tuition from this Prism in the village of Woolton, Hertfordshire. Hertfordshire is a big place in London. So in that Hertfordshire, there is a place called Woolton. So in the village of this Woolton, and this teenage girl is living. And now what happened? This Algernon visits this estate of this Jock Worthing, and under the name of Jock Worthing's brother, that is Ernest Worthing. ఈ పేరు మీద ఇతగాడు అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి ఈ సిసిలీని చూసి ఆమె అందంగా ఉండడం చేత ఆమె ప్రేమలో పడతాడు. మరి సిసిలీ ఆ జాక్ వార్థింగ్ యొక్క గార్డియన్షిప్ లో పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. మరి ఆమె మిస్ ప్రిజం దగ్గర మరి కోచింగ్ తీసుకుంటూ ఉంటుంది హెర్ట్ఫోర్డ్ షైర్ లోని వుల్టన్ లో. ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ హ్యావ్ హ్యాపెండ్ ఇన్ జాక్స్ country estate. Okay, you go to the next part of the story. Meanwhile, Jock announces that Ernest has died, intending to abandon his false identity. And one day what happened, this Jock announces that this Ernest, his brother who lives in London, has died because of some chill weather and all that. And in that way he plans to abandon or quit his false identity. However, Algernon, posing as Ernest, charms Cicely. But this Algernon, not knowing this, moves on with his love for this Cicely, and who has long fantasied about marrying someone named Ernest. But this Cicely has also a kind of a mental disorder that she wants to marry a person whose name is Ernest. Ernest అనే పేరు ఉన్నవాడిని నేను పెళ్లి చేసుకోవాలనే ఒక విధమైనటువంటి మెంటల్ గా ఒక కోరిక అంతే ఆమెకు. Just like this Gwendoline has also got some strange desire. So here this Gwendoline has the same desire, and this Cicely has also got the same desire. And here who has long fantasized about marrying someone named Ernest. So this Cicely wants to marry a person whose name is Ernest. But here this Algernon has approached her under the name of Ernest Worthing, and that's why she has fallen in deep love with Algernon. She, like Gwendoline, is obsessed with the name. Just like this Gwendoline, she also gets obsessed, preoccupied with that name Ernest. ఈ అమ్మాయికి అర్నెస్ట్ అనే పేరంటే ఇష్టము, గ్వెండోలిన్ కూడా అర్నెస్ట్ అనే పేరంటే ఇష్టం. సో కొన్ని పేర్లు అంటే కొందరికి ఇష్టం, అమ్మాయిలకు అట్లా కోరికలు ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకున్నది ఏం సంగతి అని అడగొద్దు, నేను చెప్పొద్దు, నాకు తెలియదు. కమాన్, లెట్స్ నౌ మూవ్ ఆన్ టు ద అదర్ థింగ్స్. Lady Bracknell arrives there unexpectedly. So one day what happens, this Lady Bracknell arrives at this Jack Warthing's country estate, further complicating the matters. And she makes the matters still worse and all that. She refuses to approve Algernon's engagement to Sicily until she learns that Sicily has a substantial inheritance. And she doesn't like this Algernon to marry this Sicily unless and until she learns that Sicily has a substantial inheritance. That means, unless and until she learns that the Sicily has a huge wealth behind her. Meanwhile, Miss Prism, Sicily's governess, is revealed to have a connection to Jack's past. So this Miss Prism is there. That is Sicily's tutor. That is Sicily's governess is revealed to have some connection to Jack's past life. She says that she knows Jack's past life, and she says years ago she mistakenly left a baby Jack in a handbag at the train station. She tells Lady Bracknell that she has left by mistake a baby in a handbag at a railway station. So that baby is none other than Jack himself. And in that way, she tells Lady Bracknell all about the past life of Jack and all that. So now what happens? This is Jack is the guardian of this Sicily. If Jack has property, means Sicily has also property. Now we move on to the remaining part of the story. So the mystery of Jack's origin is solved now. Now what happened? The secret of Jack's origin is solved now. Now there are no doubts about this Jack Warthing's past life and all that. He is learned to be the elder brother of Algernon, and not only that, he is none other than this Algernon's elder brother, and his real name is Ernest. But later on, he had changed because he was left at the railway station in a bag, and somebody has brought him up with another name, Jack and all that. Jack is the name given by the foster parents, okay, and the original name of this Jack is Ernest. This revelation resolves the lovers' conflicts. Now the conflicts have been cleared. Jack and Gwendoline and Algernon and Cicely are free to marry. Now they are ready to marry because all the conflicts, all the problems have been solved, because this Jack is known to be the brother of this Algernon, and Jack, Algernon and Cicely and all are well related in that way. So they are all very rich people. So they have a lot of property. Now what happened? Lovers' conflicts have been resolved in this way, and now Jack and Gwendoline can marry without any problems, and Algernon and Cicely can also marry. So this is the story. Now let's move on to the remaining part of the story. Lady Bracknell complains to her new found relative, that is Mr. Jack. Okay, Jack is the name. Okay, this Lady Bracknell complains to her newfound relative, that is Jack or Ernest. My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality. That means, my dear nephew, you have been always very playful and joking and all that. You look to be not serious. You are never very serious in your matters and all that. Then this nephew says, this Jack replies, Aunt Bracknell, now onwards I stop being trivial or playful. From now onwards, I don't want to be playful and joking and all that. I have realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest. So I have now understood the importance of being very serious, the importance of being very grave and all that. I don't want to be hereafterwards playful and joking and all that. ఇక ముందు నేను ఆకతాయిగా అల్లరి చిల్లరగా ఉండను, ఇప్పటి నుంచి చాలా సీరియస్ గా ఉంటాను అని అతగాడు చెప్తుంటాడు. This is the end of this small drama, and this is explained to you very briefly. If you have any problem, please let me know that. With this video comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello dear DSC candidates, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any problem in understanding the story or anything, please make a mention of it in the comment section. With the second part of this video, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye, see you all of you. Right.